Hello everybody, my name is Cynthia Rivera, and for my presentation we're going to go ahead and ask, is childhood obesity still rising in the United States? So over the years, childhood obesity has been rising and becoming a lot more common. Children who start from kindergarten are most likely to have weight problems by the time they enter the sixth grade, studies have found. And we're going to ask ourselves, so what is causing the rise of childhood obesity in the United States? We are going to go ahead and go into depth about the struggles that children with obesity can come across too. And let's get started, shall we? And we're going to go over the reasons why obesity in children is growing, the health risks, and what everyone can do to prevent it from increasing over time. In the last 30 years, obesity, especially in children, has increased at a high rate. A medical new Today article released in January 19th, 2022 does state that the prevalence of obesity in children aged 6 through 11 years old increased from 7% in 1980 to 18% in 2012, while the percentage of adolescents with obesity aged 12 through 19 years soared from 5% to 21%, in the same period of time. Children who consume a lot of high-calorie diets of food such as chips, pastries, fast food, and sugary beverages are more at risk of obesity, and lack of physical activity, and lack of playing sports after school or during school can also affect a child during their young lives. Children who spend more time playing video games or playing on the computer for long periods of time can also affect their childhood as well. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that many children who are suffering from obesity will come across through a lot of health risks. Problems such as early diabetes, breathing problems, high blood pressure, and other diseases can start at an early age, especially those with obesity. Most children who are obese are most likely to struggle with psychological risk as well. A Salud America article released in late 2017 does note that children can suffer from sleeping disorders, anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and low self-esteem, and it can lead to children being teased or bullied, which does put their mental health on a low. What can we do to avoid this issue from growing more and more? What do we do now? So, since we did explain the struggles and risks that children with obesity come across, I do want to go ahead and explain what we can do to decrease this problem and how to teach children good eating habits and other methods and what we have done so far. Although teaching children healthy eating habits sounds good enough, sometimes it can be difficult for kids to understand those habits, and we want to make sure it takes some time for them to understand, talk to them, tell them what's good and what's bad, what can happen to their future if they're not eating good, and what benefits it can come to for their future, like what they can do so that they grow up to be healthy and very strong. According to an article published in July 7th, 2022 by CNN Health, even though children may not understand the risks of what could happen as they grow, quote, it's really important that parents speak to their children and their healthy habits such as nutrition, eating healthy at home and at school, lots of physical activity, good sleep, and reducing stress. A method that has helped children in America with good eating habits for their school lunches is the Hunger Free Kids Act by former First Lady Michelle Obama. In the Reflectors, Michelle Obama Hunger Kids Act 14 years later article released in February of that year, Obama's mission was to fight the battle against childhood obesity. So within time, for the first time in 30 years, the former First Lady Michelle Obama did help a lot of schools in America. She did want to make sure kids are eating, they are incorporating a lot more of fruits and veggies to their lunches, and, make sure they're not eating just like burger, fries, juice box, actually adding some like good beneficial foods that can help a child, so that they grow up to be strong. They learn these habits when they're younger, and as they grow they know, this is good, this is bad. All in all, we were able to go into depth about the struggles and ways we can decrease this problem in the United States, which was about childhood obesity. We did talk about many health and psychological risks that a child can go through when struggling with obesity, and we were also able to talk about what has helped and what we can do to make this problem decrease over time. Even though childhood obesity is at a rise, even to this day, it can be hard to try to make it go on a low. It's more difficult to say that children who go through this will most likely continue their habits as they grow if they are not given the proper information about the risks. So, question is, will this issue continue growing, or will it eventually have a good turnout and decrease? It depends. Sometimes if kids are exposed to good eating habits, they're, more into physical activity, it can decrease over time. But if children are exposed to more fast foods, lack of physical activity, it's going to increase over time. But as of right now, I do believe that it is still increasing. Over time, we should always encourage children to have good eating habits and to motivate them into more active lifestyles as well. This is my work cited from the information I was able to give you guys. And thank you for listening, and I hope you were able to learn something new about my topic.